Today, we have every model year Rivian R1T lined up. We have a 2022, 2023, 2024, and Gen 2 refresh 2025 sitting right here. In today's video, we will talk about all the differences you'll see in all these model years and what's different when it comes to hardware, software, and features among these electric pickup trucks. Let's dive in. Starting off our overview, we have the original 2022 R1T Launch Edition. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's discuss all the standard features you'll get on any Rivian R1T regardless of the model year. Regardless of model year, all Rivian R1Ts come with air suspension and adaptive dampers. This air suspension system delivers 14.9 inches of ground clearance in the highest setting, and all Rivian R1Ts can wade through up to 36 inches of water. All R1Ts come with a front trunk that's 11.1 cubic feet. They also come with a gear tunnel as standard, and the gear tunnel can hold up to about 11.7 cubic feet. So between the front and the gear tunnel, you get 22.8 cubic feet of additional storage. Every model year comes with heated and ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, and a panoramic glass roof. The dual motor versions offer up to 7,700 pounds of towing capacity, whereas the tri and quad motors can do up to 11,000 pounds. All of these trucks come with a 4.5-foot bed, and R1T beds are equipped with two 120 volt power outlets, and the interior also gets an additional 120 volt power outlet. And finally, on the safety front, all Rivian R1Ts come with highway assist, so the car can steer itself on the highway and use adaptive cruise control to keep you a safe distance from the car ahead of you. It's fair to say that regardless of the model year you find, all Rivian R1Ts come really well equipped. But now let's get back to the 2022. Starting off with the powertrain on the original launch edition Rivian R1T, we get a 128.9 kilowatt hour battery pack. Rivian calls this the large battery pack, and this is good for a range of 314 miles. We also get quad motors as standard, and they're good to deliver a total power output of 835 horsepower, which is truly insane for the launch edition model. This was the only powertrain offered, and it was very, very impressive for 2022 and still even today. The Rivian R1T Launch Edition comes very well equipped as standard, and we even get Meridian's premium elevation sound system. Now, sadly, Meridian's sound system did not last very long on the R1T because Rivian eventually went in-house to develop their own audio system, but if you find a 2022, it will have the Meridian sound system. The Launch Edition also came as standard with the Rivian camp speaker. If you bought 2023 or after, Rivian would charge you $450 for the camp speaker as an option in the gear shop. And overall, I gotta say, I'm still really impressed with the 2022 Rivian R1T. We have really good materials all throughout this cabin, and everything still feels really good for this being Rivian's first attempt at building an electric car. This R1T just feels like a very well-built product, even though this is around the 5,600th Rivian R1T ever built. So Rivian's ability to manufacture is really good, as we can see in this early model year R1T. And now we have the 2023 Rivian R1T. So there really aren't that many changes to the 2023 model year. Rivian stuck with a really good formula that made the 2022 so impressive and kept most of it for the 2023. Now we do get one additional battery pack option. So the 2022 just offered the large battery, and now we have the large and the max battery. The max battery pack uses around a 149 kilowatt hour battery pack, and it's good for a range of 410 miles. To further improve range, we also get the dual motor powertrain. So the dual motor is good for 533 horsepower, and the car can accelerate from 0 to 60 in around 4.5 seconds. There's also the dual motor performance, which offers 665 horsepower if you want more of a punch. And once again, this uses basically the same setup, though the performance is software unlocked. So the motors could really make up to 665 horsepower or perhaps a little bit more on the dual motor version, but the dual motor is software locked to 533. But if you do find yourself in a dual motor Rivian R1T with the large or max battery pack for the 2023 model year, you can pay $5,000 and receive a software update that will unlock your horsepower to that 665 mark. So if you prefer more horsepower, you can pay that. You also get a few more drive modes, including sport and rally, among a few others. So your truck instantly becomes a lot more fun to drive. If you were a particularly inquisitive viewer, you would notice that these wheels and tires are different. That's because this Rivian R1T has the all-terrain wheels and tires spec'd on. So now we get 20-inch wheels and these really knobby tires, which are really great for off-roading. So if you want to go off-roading in your Rivian R1T, I really recommend finding one or speccing on, if you're buying new, the all-terrain package, because these tires are a lot better for off-roading. We also get a lot more sidewall too, so you can have a lot more confidence when you're crawling over rocks. On the interior, we get the same horse and pony show of amenities that made the original R1T so good. But now there are a few downgrades. So first off, we do not get the camp speaker as standard, and then Rivian then dropped Meridian as the sound system supplier, and Rivian now makes their own in-house audio system. And as an audiophile, this makes me really sad because the original Meridian sound system was so good, and now this new sound system, even if you get the premium upgrade, still sounds like a downgrade. And when you're in a really nice luxury truck like this, you should expect a good sound system, and it's kind of sad that we don't really get one anymore in the Rivian R1T. That said, I still find the build quality and materials incredibly impressive in here. And one thing I did notice is that the wood is a little bit more smooth grained in here than the 2022 model year. So maybe this is just a disparity on the specific piece of wood that was selected for this interior as opposed to that one, but this does feel really nice, and that one did feel a little bit rougher. So if you're into smooth wood, then maybe a 2023, I don't know. As a note on warranties, all 2022 and 2023 Rivian R1Ts equipped with the quad motor powertrain get a 5-year or 60,000 mile basic bumper to bumper warranty. This is a really solid warranty because the Ford F-150 Lightning and Chevy Silverado EV only offer a 3-year, 36,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty. However, if you get a 2023 with the dual motor configuration, that 5-year, 60,000 mile warranty becomes 4 years or 50,000 miles. In terms of the battery coverage, the large or max battery pack, if you have a dual motor configuration, get an 8-year, 150,000 mile warranty. Now, if you get a quad motor only with the large battery pack, then you get an 8-year, 175,000 mile warranty. So what this means is if you find pretty much any 2022 on the market, you will get that 8-year, 175,000 mile battery warranty. But that's enough talk of warranties. Let's get to the 2024. Up next is the 2024 Rivian R1T. So now we get 2 more battery pack options. The standard battery pack, which is actually just a software locked large battery pack, and then the standard plus battery pack, which is also a software locked large battery pack. The standard is good for a range of 270 miles, and the standard plus can do 315. It's important to note that Rivian sold very few standard plus battery packs, so if you're looking for a used Rivian, they won't be that easy to find. Now, if you get the standard or standard plus battery pack, you get a 4-year, 50,000 mile basic warranty, but then the total battery and powertrain warranty comes down to 8 years or 120,000 miles. Still better than the industry standard of 8-year or 100,000 miles, but this is a little bit less than the 150,000 mile warranty you get on the large or max battery packs. Overall, there aren't too many differences between the 2024 and the 2023 Rivian R1T, but as we'll see with the 2025 model year, Rivian saved a lot of the big changes for this mid-cycle refresh. Let's check out that one. Finally, we have the 2025 Gen 2 refresh of the Rivian R1T. As for the exterior of the Gen 2, there's not a ton of changes. However, there's a few very minor ones. So we get a new light bar up here, so this is now sequential. So when you're charging and say you're at 50% state of charge, 5 out of 10 of these light bars will be pulsing green to let you know that you're at 50% state of charge. We also get new headlights, and these are now matrix LED headlights. So when you have your high beams on, it can actually block out certain pixels so it will not blind drivers coming the other way. As for the aesthetics, we get a few new paint colors and several new wheel options, including the 22-inch range wheels. These are the circular design wheels, and they have a very modern look. And finally, we get a dark out package, which this one is equipped with. And the dark out package simply has dark accents for all these silvery bits. So this makes the truck look a little more aggressive. In terms of the powertrain, Rivian still offers the dual motor with 533 horsepower and the dual motor performance with 665 horsepower. However, what's new for 2025 is the tri-motor with 850 horsepower. This example I have is the 850 horsepower tri-motor, and there's also the 1025 horsepower quad motor. This is the most powerful Rivian yet, and it's also the first Rivian to enter the 4-digit territory for power output. As for the battery options, we get the max battery pack with 141.5 kilowatt hours. This is available with dual motor powertrains as an option, or if you get the tri or quad powertrain, it will automatically come with the max battery. The large battery pack is 109.4 kilowatt hours, and the standard is 92.5. So this is a smaller battery pack than the outgoing model year, and this battery pack is LFP, so we get lithium iron phosphate cells as opposed to NMC ones. This means you will have slightly different charging habits for the new standard range Rivian R1T. So once a week, you will need to charge to 100% just to calibrate the battery pack. Now, this doesn't mean it's good to charge to 100%, but you will need to charge to 100% so the battery pack knows what state of charge it's at. Rivian also made massive changes to the electrical architecture underpinning the car, and we go down from 17 to just 7 ECUs. And this translates to a weight savings of 44 pounds thanks to the simplified architecture and the removal of additional wires. These new onboard computers deliver really smooth graphics on the center infotainment display, and we also get enhanced autonomy. So the Rivian R1T now allows for hands-free driving on the highway with automatic lane changes. So you simply put on your blinker and the car will change lanes for you. Additionally, the 2025 model years do get co-steer as a feature. What co-steer is essentially concurrent steering. So when you have the autonomous driving feature turned on, Driver Plus, you can make small steering inputs to override the system without the system disengaging. So if there's a truck that's in the left lane and you want to move over to the right a little bit, you can do that. You can move the steering wheel slightly to the right. Your car will end up in the right side of the lane, and then you can let go of the steering wheel and Driver Plus will still be engaged. Not all the changes are positive though. For instance, now you need to pay $650 extra to get the onboard air compressor. This used to be a standard feature, but now if you get a dual motor version, you will need to pay extra to get that amenity. We get a glass roof that can turn opaque with the click of a button on the screen, and we get electronic door handles. So now when you want to open up the door and you pull on the door handle, it is an electronic popper that releases as opposed to a traditional cable system. Overall, Rivian made really substantial improvements to the 2025 model year, and this is undoubtedly the best Rivian yet. And now, what's the verdict? Well, the verdict is that the original 2022 Rivian R1T Launch Edition was already a really good electric pickup truck. It offered 835 horsepower and a range of over 300 miles. But it wasn't a perfect vehicle, and the various iterations continuously improved the R1T. But then when we get to 2025, the R1T gets significantly better. We get better processors for the onboard computers. We get Rivian's new zonal architecture. We get better cameras, and the ride quality improves dramatically with various hardware and software-based differences. The 2025 also has improved autonomous driving functionality with hands-free driving and automated lane changes. If you're looking for a Rivian, you have many options now. So if you want to save money, you can opt for an older 2022 and you can buy them in the $50,000 to $60,000 range. And you're getting the launch edition, so you'll have Meridian sound system, 835 horsepower, and many other amenities. But if you're looking for a new one, you have lots of options. You can get a standard range in the low $70,000 ballpark, or you can splurge and get the tri-motor like this, but then it will cost you over $100,000. But if you really want the latest and greatest, then it's best to look for a 2026 model year, which is coming out right now. And the 2026 offers NACS charging, which means you'll have access to all the superchargers without the need for an adapter. Regardless, the 2025 builds upon an already solid electric pickup truck, and this is merely a testament to Rivian's impressive software and engineering. Thank you for watching.